Hello everyone, Hub here again, and I'm bringing you my second Friendship is Magic commentary. Today's episode is Swarm of the Century, the 10th episode of Season 1 and the 10th episode of the show overall. It was kind of difficult trying to decide my next choice when it came to commenting on an episode. After Hurricane Fluttershy, I figured maybe I could just do the Equestria Games arc, because I think that it was a shitty-ass arc, but Uh, looking over my iTunes list, I only have 4 episodes. This, Hurricane Fluttershy, Magical Mystery Cure, and Peaky Pride, which is the only one I have in HD. Although the first episode I bought on HD was Magic Duel, but I have no idea where that went. It probably died with my old Windows 7 computer. So, yeah. So far, we've seen Fluttershy adorable again, and a new creature, which we will talk about more when the episode properly begins. Ominous close-up. Theme song. To be fair, I do prefer the Season 1 version of the song over the rest because it feels more energetic. I don't know, just something about the theme song after Season 1 just felt off. I mean, I'm not saying the theme song is good because it isn't, because it's quite frankly terrible. But at least it's short, unlike G3, which had a full-fledged theme, and that made me want to lacerate myself. Anyway, time to talk about the episode properly now. Swarm of the Century is a very special episode of MLP because it is the first episode written by M.A. Larson, who is known for his continuity porn, which will be later demonstrated in this episode. Since then, M.A. Larson is actually one of my favorite writers of the show. He unfortunately didn't come back for Season 4, but Dave Polsky is basically the M.A. Larson of Season 4, because he really tested out his strengths. The only episode I think M.A. Larson didn't exactly do a good job on was the Cider episode, the one with FiM and Flam. If you watch Golden Fox's reviews, you know he absolutely hates that episode. And M.A. Larson has stated that, oddly enough, the Cider episode is his most crowning achievement. I thought it would be something like the Return of Harmony, Magic Duel, probably Magical Mystery Cure, but the Cider episode? Strange. Just write the I and the A below Celestia. Hi, Bon Bon. Why did you get a Fungal figure before Rarity? Oh, hey, look, it's the Cakes. They're one of my favorite background characters. No, 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 no. Rings! No, 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 no. Or cake. Unfortunately, because of my diabetes, I cannot eat this much food without taking a shot, or I think I would probably die of that. Getting disease sucks. Or a prince! No, 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 Fluttershy. You're about to witness Pinky eating this whole cake in one go. I wish I could do that. I would need a truckload of milk afterwards, but I would like to eat a cake in whole. And suddenly, these creatures multiply. I don't know if I mentioned their names yet, but these are called the Parasprites. They're actually some of my favorite creatures of the show. Mostly because of how unique they are. Although this episode raises a lot of questions. Questions that, quite frankly, I actually want a sequel to. In fact, one of the questions is, how the hell does Pinky know about the Parasprites? I've always theorized that at some point during the rock farm, there was a Parasprite infestation. So, you know, how these creatures would eat rocks is beyond me, unless Mod Pie really went into that, which it did. Just look at your G3 counterpart, Rainbow. Be thankful you actually have a personality. Even if you are wearing the wig from SpongeBob. Wake Struck, in my opinion, is actually one of the better post-movie episodes of SpongeBob. At least I can watch that over the new shit that show has, like Demolition Doofus, One Course Meal, Pet Sitter Pat, Pal for fucking Gary. But anyway, that's beyond the point. We're watching a good show here. Or a show that deserves to be a lot more popular than it is. I know this show is popular already, but I think it deserves to be a lot more popular. Again, it's really strange how Pinky really thinks this could work. Although this is actually one of my bigger problems with the episode. That none of the friends at any point do question Pinky's motives. Although the bigger problem that people have is that Pinky doesn't explain herself. Admittedly, I do kind of find this to be a little bit of a problem too. Mostly because, you know, if I were Pinky, and if my friends were like, wait, why in the holy hell would you want a trombone for? And I would say, these creatures are animals. And then I would explain further. This is about to happen here. God damn, look at all these parasprites. You know, this episode is actually a great homage to one of my favorite movies of all time, Gremlins. And I will admit that I do like the sequel, Gremlins 2, The New Batch, which is not nearly as bad as some people say it is. But anyway, this is, again, like, when it comes to me watching the show for the first time, this was the second episode that really impressed me. Mostly because it, you know, did a monster or creature run amok plot pretty well. And, again, it was written by M.A. Larson. So we're going to see some of his staples in this episode. I do like Rainbow's house, although I think it does change later. Because, you know, I was watching testing 1, 2, 3 the other day, and her house looks nothing like this. One of the reasons why the parasprites are some of my favorite creatures is because of the visual gags. Parasprite bikini. Although I do think Rarity's use of them is actually pretty interesting. At least she knows how to, you know, be resourceful, unlike Rainbow, who freaked the hell out. It's a loogie! Or it's another parasprite. Also, this is a bit of an odd thing to point out, but Rarity's horn actually looks like it's connected to her this time. Unlike the first couple of episodes where it literally looked like you could detach it from her head. Like, looking back at Rarity in, like, the first few episodes, it was really weird looking at her horn. You know, I would love to see an episode where Pinky and Rarity just do like a Ghostbusters-like thing, where they are hunting parasprites. That'd be awesome.
I see we're having the same problem.
Aw, but I like the Rainbow Dash beard. Or was that Lincoln? Or any bearded man. Except me. I shave. Well, that was an odd point to bring up.
Do something, Fluttershy. Can't you control them? I've tried everything I know. I've tried begging and pleading and beseeching and asking politely and...
Although I haven't tried whipping or lacerations yet. That's on my list, though. I am so sorry for saying that. I don't know, it's just... Fluttershy is sometimes read as a fucking psychopath, so I took the opportunity to make a joke about that. Come on, Rarity, it's not that disgusting. Have you seen zombie ass? That shit is traumatizing.
I still can't figure why I need so many.
For, yes, zombie-ass, it's a Japanese zombie movie. Yes, it is that disgusting.
Yeah, we can drive him back into the forest. I'll wrestle him up, but I'll need every pony's help to do it.
You know, I've always thought Applejack to be a second in command
I'll herd the little
of
critters
the...
right
Like,
after
I know Twilight's the leader,
Rainbow
and I've always thought Applejack would be second in command.
let him fly away.
I don't know why, she just has that second in command personality. I also do think Applejack is highly underrated, and she doesn't get nearly as much credit as she deserves, in my opinion. Like, I understand some people may not like Applejack too much. I do. She's not my least favorite.
Alright, y'all. Here goes
If you see my Mega Pony run, at least with Mega Pony himself, or herself, whatever, you would know who which order my least favorite the favorites are, because I played the game in that order.
We don't have much time. You're telling me the princess could arrive at any moment. Exactly. That's why I need you gals to drop what you're doing and help me find some maracas. Maracas?
That is really random.
Problems in missing maracas. You're right. Getting a tuba has to be our number one goal.
I also do like this little running backwards animation here. I think that was part of her animations for fighting his magic.
You are so random.
Well, you're just as obnoxious as I am random, Rainbow Dash.
Forget her, ladies. Focus.
I lost what I was trying to say there. My voice cracked horribly. At least I liked the Katamari ball they made. That was pretty cool.
Ouch.
Come on, Fluttershy. It's not that harmful.
Couldn't have done it without y'all. Now let's get back and clean up the mess they made before the princess arrives.
It's not that big of a mess.
Okay, everyone knows what to do, right? We gotta work extra hard to make up for lost time.
Holy shit! More storm!
Where did they come from? Well,
You fucking idiots!
I couldn't help myself. They're just so cute.
Wait, since you kept one, keep that thing isolated and I'll dissect it later.
All in the weather.
I got one, but it's dragging me along.
Trash.
I like that little Tarzan homage Rainbow does. Also, where are her goggles in that animation? Like, seriously, she had goggles on, and in that animation, when she was doing the tornado, they were gone. It's fair, because this is like, really early on before the animation really got good. Also, this is a bit freaky here, but from the sounds of those, like, what are they, like, I don't know what they're called. Someone in the comments help me. But that could have probably killed Rainbow. Pinky with sharp objects trying to kill Rainbow.
Pinkie Pie, what?
That is the Sonic EXE of MLP fan fiction.
Will you forget about your silly instruments for 1 second? You're
Fuck that and its shitty ass spin-offs.
Me? Ruin? I'm not the ruiner. I am the ruinee.
But I also strive to be the ruinest.
Come on, girls. There's no reasoning with that one. She's a few apples short of a bushel.
Hey, fuck you, Applejack. Pinky is not stupid. You know, I've always felt that way about Pinky. I've always related to her in that sense that no one tends to listen to me. So whenever I watch this scene, I go, yo, fuck you, Applejack. Aw, Lyra's crying because she didn't get to eat her cake. I'm like that every time I have to eat something that requires me to take a shot.
What do we do? They're eating all the food in town.
You know, Applejack, just because they're apples doesn't make them yours. Well, probably, because you're the only pony in town I know of that has an apple farm. Also, this spell used here is actually used later in the episode Bats. Also, something really weird in the animation is about to come up. Suddenly, Rainbow Dash has her goggles on again. I have no idea why she has her goggles on again when she didn't have them on in the first place, but, not a big deal. Although I do question why Twilight did that spell again in bats. Although in there it was done a little bit differently. In this episode, the parasprites are eating anything but food. Whereas in bats, the vampire fruit bats don't eat anything. So I don't know if it's a tweak of the spell, or it's the same exact spell, only they eat something else. Like, they're probably eating, like, I don't know, like sticks and all that. Also, this part of the episode is actually one of my favorite parts of the episode. I think this part coming up is comedic gold. I just love this part. I'm sorry. Every time I watch this episode, that part always makes me laugh. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's rarity, just disappointment, or Pinky just outright ignoring her. But something about that has always made me laugh my ass off. I know I sounded like a complete jackass when laughing, but that's my problem with laughing. I sound like a jackass. Neither did I, Applejack. I didn't think I sounded like a jackass when laughing. I find this to be pretty creative, the little animation with the parasprite eating the words like spaghetti. I've always found that to be pretty creative. Also, here comes the continuity porn. The episode previous to this was Bridal Gossip, the first appearance of this zebra here, Zecora. And immediately after, we see her again. It's great to know that they did this so Zecora isn't just a character there just to be there for one episode. Apparently she knows about the parasprites too. In fact, if a sequel to this episode is made, whether it be in the comics or the show, please have Zecora. I just like how Zecora is just straight up, well, you're up Shit's Creek without a paddle. Oh no, here comes the LA Alicorn that does jack shit. Even I would do something later. I still need to read that Celestia micro issue, and I think I will after doing this.
Rainbow Dash, you distract them. Good. Everyone else, we need to build an exact copy of Ponyville right over there. We've got less than a minute.
I would just love it if one of the ponies just miraculously shot out Ponyville.
No, the princess's procession is here. It's all over.
Also, I do like this music piece. I don't know the name of it, but I think it's called the Pony Polka. Funny story about the song. One time I was in my video game class. It was a video game design class. And this song, at least an 8-bit rendition of it, went off in the class. I don't know who played it, but I felt the urge to go, is that the Pony Polka? But I didn't, because I knew if I did, I would probably get mocked, even though this is the same guy who wears a Sonic hat to school every day, and an MLP dog tag, which is usually Pinky, and Spider-Man Vans every day to school. Before you ask, no, I haven't been bullied for liking Adventurous Magic yet.
Hello, princess. So lovely to see you again, as well as your friends.
What the fuck?
So, how was the trip? Hit much traffic?
Also, this little part here has always interested me. Like, what's about to come up here?
They're not that adorable.
That's what I say to every Rainbow Dash fan. Rainbow isn't as awesome as she seems. I am so sorry for saying that,
Oh, yes, the parade.
because I don't want to have the next Rainbow fan maul me to death.
For another time. I'm afraid an emergency has come up in Philadelphia. Apparently there's been some sort of infestation. An infestation?
You know, again,
A swarm of incredibly bothersome
I've always
creatures
wondered,
invaded the poor
why
town.
hasn't there been a sequel to this episode yet?
I'd like to have to put you all
I mean,
so much
the parasprites have appeared briefly in Magic Duel, but that's the only time, to my knowledge, we ever see them again.
Your latest report on the magic of
I would love to see a Parasprites sequel.
report?
have Sakura and Pinky team up, explain the origins of the Parasprites. Hell, even shed light into how Pinky knows about the Parasprites and how she knows that music
I've learned that
gets them
sometimes the
away.
solution to your problems can come from where you least
Although my
expect
music
it.
of choice would probably be something
Try to
from
stop and listen to your friends' opinions on these types of
AC/DC
things,
or Aerosmith,
even when they don't always seem to make
some
sense.
classic
I'm
rock
so
band or
proud of you,
something.
Thanks, Marco.
And I'm very impressed with your friends as well. It sounds like you're all learning so much from each other.
Thank you, Princess.
Give it a season or two, then they will start learning stuff.
Hey, what happened to the princess? Emergency in Philadelphia. Some sort of infestation. Oh no! Have they got parasites too? Well, have tuba, will travel.
I would like to see where the Parasprites come from. Maybe they come from an alternate dimension or something like that.
Why do you think I was so frantic to get my hooves on all these instruments? I tried to tell you.
In fact, I tried to tell you so well that none of you gave a shit about me. Even if I almost did lacerate Rainbow Dash.
Even if we don't always understand you. Thanks, guys. You're all great friends too. Even when I don't understand.
You see,
Wow, that was incredibly strange. You know, have you got that feeling when you're doing something, you have no idea why you're doing it? By the way,
Or not.
well, that was a great way to end it. But anyway, that was the Storm of the Century commentary. In terms of the show, this is one of my favorite episodes of season 1. It's in my top 10 of the season. I would probably have to do a top 10 best episodes of season 1 soon. But anyway, this has been my second Friendship is Magic commentary. This has been Hubakari, and I'm signing off.